Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Cash with SoundersFC.com alongside the voice of the Sounders, Arlo White, as the Sounders drop another one at home here, 1-0 to the San Jose Earthquakes in the Heritage Cup. Arlo, tough first 11 minutes for the Sounders, wasn't it?
Yes, the game has ended, and that's the first I've thought of the Heritage Cup, which the Sounders are 1-0 down after the first leg, I suppose. It was almost like Groundhog Day in a way, and I know that we've talked an awful lot about it. The frustrating thing for me is that the performance last week against New York I felt was epic. It had everything that you want. It had the grit and determination that we talked about, that Ziggy Schmidt demanded. It had everyone as a collective, you know, playing together for each other, brothers in arms, a band of brothers, that sort of thing, and a late goal, a late piece of magic from Montero. Here, a completely different game, a siege, if you like, after San Jose scored off their only shot of the first half. Nicely put away by Wondolowski, his fifth of the season. A hint of offside at the far post, but none of the telltale signs like defenders putting their arms up or, you know, the goal scorer looking towards the linesman. So the goal counted.
It all happened so quickly. It was a great heads-up play by Wondolowski to get on that ball, right?
Yeah, it was, and it capped actually a fine first 10 minutes for San Jose, who settled far more quickly. And you think, after that great performance in New York, you were looking for the Sounders to come out straight away, and I know that frustrated Ziggy as we spoke to him during the game, and he's spoken about afterwards. So 18 shots to 3. But of those 18 shots, only 2 were on target. So that's why I talk about Groundhog Day. There were shades of the Red Bulls home game when the Sounders just dominated in every statistical category. But it's not a game. It's not a typically American game where you can go to the stats and that will tell you the story of the match. It confounds, I think, some American people that don't understand the game, who don't follow the game. When they look at the stats, this should have been a 5-1 victory. It's a 1-0 defeat. And that's the way it is, and it's frustrating. There's a big week coming up against Boca and against Colorado, which is the bigger game of the two. And the search goes on for a victory against a fellow Western Conference side, doesn't it? So, yeah, look, just you want to pull your hair out sometimes. It's so frustrating. But there's no lack of effort out there. As I say, it was a siege. They just couldn't put the ball away.
Without Brad Evans, without Ozzie Alonso, those are two of the harder working players on this team. We saw them kind of pick up the slack for those guys, though, right?
Yeah.
Particularly a guy like Freddie Montero, who obviously took a lot of criticism over the last 2 weeks, and this week really kind of acquitted himself up front, didn't he?
I thought in the first 45 minutes he was running around, he was challenging their defenders, he was putting them under pressure, and also, as you were in a meeting with Ziggy, with myself and the rest of the guys and the crew on Friday, he talked a lot about against New York that the goal was scored by running behind a defender, Mike Petkin. He was doing that all game. Unfortunately, the delivery and the service wasn't quite there, but he was getting into great situations off the last defender's shoulder. So Freddie possibly tired a little bit towards the end of the game. Montaño came in and it was electrifying at times again. It was terrific. Look, I don't think there was any lack of work rate or of effort. You have to look at the amount of possession, where the ball was for most of the game, and it was in the final third for San Jose. They've kept somehow a 4th consecutive clean sheet, but the Sounders themselves are culpable in that, because when they had the opportunities, either Joe Cannon, they hit the ball straight at him, or they didn't hit the target. And we've talked again quite a lot this season about them hitting the target and maybe getting rebounds from goalkeepers. At the moment, the ball's flashing wide or it's flashing over the bar. Zakawane had a couple of chances in the first half. Niassi played well in the first half. He had a couple of chances too. I thought Lundberg was great in the first half, sliding balls through. Maybe he's engaging a little too much with the referees and getting frustrated. It seems the calls are going against him, though, in fairness, at the moment for Freddie. But frustration. They're not hitting the target. They didn't get the goal, and it's another sort of frustrating afternoon for a full house.
How did the game feel in the press box? How did it feel up from your booth?
Well, it felt like, oh no, here we go again. Only because we've seen it so many times. The Sounders, is it 4 goals in 6 home games? I was trying to work this out after the game in the aftermath. And that's not enough, is it? Against Columbus, they got an early goal on the board. And there was a sense of foreboding, I suppose, when San Jose took the lead. And I've done a bit of reading into this. The last 101 times San Jose have taken a 1-0 lead, they've only lost 5 times. So that was a worrying statistic. But again, it was the Alamo. It was a siege. It was shots, crosses, possession. and no goal, and that is the frustrating thing, and I don't know how they put this right. I don't know what they do differently on the training field to have more poise in front of goal. And as Ziggy said after the game, I don't know whether Blaise Kufo is going to ride in on a white horse and rescue everybody and start scoring 2 or 3 goals a game. You know, he's going to have a tough time adjusting to this league before we place too much expectation on him. Nate Jake was going to come back in the side. The chances are there. They just need to be taken, but we've said that all along, haven't we? So the search for a big home win continues.
Maybe it'll be a game with the pressure off on Wednesday night against Boca Juniors, right?
Well, the irony would be, and I'm sure the Sounders fans would love to see a 4-0 victory over Boca Juniors, as unlikely as that is. You know, they're a good team, aren't they, in one of South America's Premier Leagues. But if they won 3-0, it would almost be like, oh my goodness, that was a friendly. You know, you want to save it for a league match. But look, we'll have fun on Wednesday. I think the guys will be able to relax more. It'd be nice to go into that game with a win. That's not going to happen. But they can relax. There aren't points at stake. And maybe get the confidence back for a trip to Colorado, which is vitally important next week at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, which is a mouthful, isn't it? But against a good Colorado team. But as we saw against New York, the onus is on the home team to come and attack. That's when the Sounders are more comfortable breaking away, soaking up the pressure as they did against New York. Maybe they can turn in a replica performance. But I'm looking forward to Wednesday night. It should be a celebration of the game. We'll see more of the players coming into the fray. Maybe a Michael Seaman, who knows, maybe Nate Jake will have a little run out. We'll see how he is as he returns to full fitness. So I'm looking forward to that. It would have been nice to go into it on the back of a victory, though.
It should be a lot of fun on a week that really has been difficult. A 1-0 home loss to the San Jose Earthquakes. But Boca Juniors here on Wednesday night. We'll see you at Qwest Field for Arlo White. I'm Matt Gash with SoundersFC.com.